Welcome to the latest episode of Let's Talk Blood Cancer, the Patients Podcast, with myself, Adam Joyce, former blood cancer patient myself. And I've got some really inspiring ladies joining me on the sofa today, out here in the beautiful sunshine of Calpe on the Costa Blanca. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I'm riding to raise money for cure leukemia.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm a paediatric anaesthetist at Sheffield Children's Hospital. And last summer, my niece Clemmy was diagnosed with leukemia, so I'm riding the route to raise money for cure leukemia, and because it's a brilliant cycling challenge.
Thank you, Zoe.
I'm Anna. I'm riding the route because I love cycling, and it's an amazing opportunity to raise loads of money for cure leukemia in the process.
Thank you, Anna.
Hi, I'm Claire. I also love cycling and fancied a really big challenge to coincide with turning 40 this year, whilst also doing something amazing, raising money for cure leukemia.
Well, ladies, it's wonderful to have you here today. Now, a couple of you mentioned the route, but there will be people watching this podcast who have got absolutely no idea. What are we talking about? It's obviously got something to do with cycling. So who can tell us a little bit about the challenge that you are undertaking this summer?
So the route, it's basically 23 amateur female cyclists taking on the Tour de Femmes one day ahead of the pros.
So what kind of numbers are we looking at here? Because this isn't just a day out on the bicycle, is it? This is more than that.
Many people think I'm undertaking this challenge on Zwift, on the indoor bike.
Yeah.
They keep saying, are you actually going to France? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the hardest Tour de France Femmes, avec Zwift ever. It's so over 9 days, no rest days at all. Absolutely loads of climbing. I think you know the climbing.
Yes, there's
stats.
about 19,000 metres of climbing.
I think some might have wished it was 9,000. Yeah.
I think I might. 19,000 metres of climbing and 1,175 kilometres.
Well, you've passed the test on the data. That's absolutely right. 1,170 kilometres of distance and nearly 19,000 metres of climbing. So am I right to think that you're all pros and this is something that you could do any day of the week? Laura?
Definitely not. And we've also got the iconic Mont Ventoux this year, which is the first time the ladies have been up that. So that would be really exciting.
Are there any parts of this that you're really excited about and dreading, I guess, as well?
Mont Ventoux is very intimidating. It'll be just an amazing experience to be doing the Tour de France Femmes, one day ahead of the pros. It's just very scary at the same time. So hopefully we can all get round.
And what about any others? Any other fears, trepidations, super bits of excitement?
Rolling into Nice at the end, I think. Super excited about that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that about rolling into Nice or it being the end?
The latter, definitely, yeah.
But also just starting off, I think day one is going to be amazing because this has been a long time coming. We've done a lot of training through the winter, indoors with awful weather, particularly in the Peak District where we've been, Anna and I have been training. So being there with everybody on the start line, that'll be a really good day.
Yeah, and we start in Switzerland and then go into France. So lots of it is really scenic, isn't it? It's amazing.
Beautiful.
It looks really beautiful.
So we said at the beginning of the podcast that we were out here on the Costa Blanca, but we're not all out here for a holiday together, are we? Tell us about what your week is currently involving.
Lots of climbing today. Lots of time in the saddle. Couple of coffee stops because cyclists love coffee and a cake.
Yeah.
I've taken to the baguettes, as we all
I was
know.
going to say baguettes.
Well, it wouldn't be a cycling event without baguettes, would it? But this is a training camp for you, isn't it, to get you ready for the event that you are taking on. How do you think that this week is helping you prepare?
I think it's quite intimidating riding with people you don't know and you don't ride with regularly. So just having that experience of riding in a bunch, sitting really close on someone's wheel, the descents around here and the ascents are phenomenal. So twisty, turny, in and out. So just getting the opportunity to do that again and again in a week is really great prep.
And also just having days on the trot, cycling, because lots of us are juggling lots of different things, and getting 5 days for us in a row, doing some big days out is really good for training and really good experience. Yeah.
And also just understanding your kit. I've had a few problems with mine, and charging your electronic gears. I didn't realise that they could decharge on the plane in the bike box. So all those things that you don't really think about that we're all now learning and benefiting from doing now and learning now, not on the actual event.
So all of the funds that we're raising on this incredible challenge are going towards the Atticus network. But again, for people who are watching who may not be too familiar with the Atticus, can any of you shed some light on that for us?
So running clinical trials in any medical field is quite an expensive thing to do. So the Atticus network is being set up to fund clinical trials all the way across the UK, really hoping to improve research around stem cell transplants for children who have leukemia, improving their outcomes and response to treatment. So this allows much more research to be done in that field that wouldn't be done otherwise. So it's really advancing care for these children who might not have had that treatment available. And we see real, firsthand what that impact has. So Clemmy, my niece, she hasn't had a stem cell transplant, but she did receive treatment that wouldn't have been available without these trials last summer. So it's quite important that we keep doing these and providing the funding to do so.
And was Clemmy at the forefront of your mind when you signed up to this challenge, or was it the overarching desire to raise money and to ensure that Atticus is the success that we want it to be and we need it to be?
Clemmy's diagnosis last summer was probably the driver, but working in Sheffield Children's Hospital, I'm an anaesthetist, so I often anaesthetise children undergoing some of their procedures for diagnostics, but also treatment and having lines put in. So we take care of lots of children living with leukemia. But when you see somebody going through it so close to home, then it really gives you a very different perspective on what it means to go through that treatment. So it was both. And I think working in the hospital, I can really relate to the impact that this trials network will have on some of our children.
I bet you can. Anna, were there any motivators for you to sign up to this event?
Well, yeah, initially I heard about it through a friend who's worked on the route before, and she said that she thought I'd love it years ago, and so it's been on my mind for a while. And then I turned 50 this year as well as your 40th, so it just felt like a really good opportunity to do it, and a chance that I might not get again. I was off the bike for most of last year following some surgery, so really missed it, and so just coming back from that and turning 50 and everything else, and then the added impetus for raising money for Cure Leukemia as well. It just felt like a lot of reasons to do it.
Yeah, not enough reasons not to do it.
No, absolutely.
And Claire, you don't have a direct connection to blood cancer, I believe. So you've said about, it's your 40th and you I know we shouldn't keep repeating that.
I know, I'm getting very anxious about
tells me I shouldn't
40
keep
now.
doing that, but you raised it. So what brings you here? You're a keen cyclist, clearly, but why this event?
Been cycling for about 3.5 years. Last year I did the 312 in Mallorca. Met a lovely lady called Nicola. Long story short, we went on like a couple's holiday. We went to Girona. She still was wearing the 312 bracelet. She was like, "I'm going to cut this off soon. I've got a bigger challenge." So I was thinking it's definitely going to be something to do with on the bike. Then she told me about the route, and I immediately got, I need to jump on this too. Then she told me about the fundraising target, and I thought, never in a million years will I be able to achieve that.
Just remind us what that fundraising target is.
It's £10,000 that we each individually need to raise, but we also have to pay our own way, so that's £4,000 each. So I went home, kept going on the Instagram, looking at the route. We've announced X rider today, X rider tomorrow. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to click on Instagram one day and it's going to say it's full. And I'm just going to be so disappointed that I didn't even apply and try. So I thought, I threw caution to the wind and applied. Yeah. And a couple of days later, oh, we'd love you to take part. So I thought, oh wow. So I just had to do it, and I just thought I'll sign up and I'll just worry about the fundraising and the cycling in due course.
Yeah.
And then also as part of the training, I thought I might as well just do the 3-1-2 again as well.
Wow.
And see if I've still got the legs.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you out and about on the bike today from the comfort of the car that I was in, and you seem a really strong cyclist. I mean,
thank you.
Is your confidence building, ready for this?
I do love climbing, so that I feel quite comfortable climbing. Descending is another matter. I feel like I need to watch a few more videos of Tom Pidcock on outdoors. Purely admiring the descending skills, nothing else. And as well, I don't cycle as a member of a cycling club. So like this week, for example, is great for me to work on the skills on the road, learning to better sit on people's wheels, riding to abreast. And it's coming along. It's not perfect, but it is coming along. But yeah, I'm having a great time.
And this is the whole idea of what Q Leukemia are providing for you now. Is it's not just a case of sign up to the event and raise the money and turn up and do it. What are your thoughts about the support package that is in place for you now?
I mean, it's been brilliant. I mean, I feel so privileged to be in this position, doing something brilliant, raising all this money for clinical research trials, but also just meeting all these guys and having such a nice time. I've learnt loads about riding together in a group, kit, how to descend properly, putting all that into practice and getting tips from everybody. It's been brilliant.
Thank you. Laura, if I may ask you, you're deaf.
Yep.
So how does being deaf affect both positively and maybe any challenges that you face when undertaking an event such as this?
Yeah, so wind in my hearing aids is an absolute nightmare. So before we came out on this training camp, I did put a message on the WhatsApp group just to let them know that, if it's really windy or if we're going downhill and I haven't heard you, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I probably just cannot hear you at all. And also if you get any strange answers from me, if that doesn't make sense, just let me know and ask me the question again. I also have a radar on the back of my bike, so that helps me know when there's cars behind me, because I generally can't hear them until they're right next to me. So it just makes me feel a bit safer and helps me understand.
How does that work?
That's a very good question.
How do you know that the radar is activated? Is it a light display?
So yeah, on my Garmin I can actually see little round dots down the side of the screen, and it does go red if something's approaching really fast, and then you can see the little dots moving down the side as they're coming towards you, and then they turn green as they go past you. So yeah, it's really, really helpful, and you just have a better understanding of what's around you.
That's fascinating. And your mum's living with blood cancer.
Yes.
So how is she, and how does that affect your sort of willingness, if you like, and your drive to complete this event?
She is doing much better, thank you. She's finished her chemo and radiotherapy, so hopefully we can get her stronger this year. So that would be really, really nice. The fact that she was so strong and got through 6 rounds of chemo, I don't think you realise, as you said, until someone goes through it, I don't think you realise how much of an impact it has on their life, and how much chemo really does just kind of like, it does attack your body at the same time, even though it's attacking the cancer. So she did get quite ill, and she's had to have 2 blood transfusions. But climbing those hills today, and when I was thinking, oh gosh, this is getting really hard, I was like, my mum got through 6 rounds of chemo, even though it was really hard. She lost all the saliva in her mouth, so it was difficult to eat. So I'm just like, no, I can keep going. I can get to the top of the hill.
And is that where you take your mind to when you are battling with those hills, about what your mum's been through?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're connected to her for the whole ride?
Yeah.
And she'll be following your progress?
I hope so. Yeah, I think so.
Amazing. Zoe, as a paediatric anaesthetist, you see patients fighting illnesses daily, and you've touched on it already, but how does that influence your motivation on the bike? And I guess what I'm really intrigued about is the people you meet on a daily basis are not just customers or clients, are they? So your connection to them?
Yeah, so I mean, I have a very privileged job. I work with these children every day, and they are amazing. They go through so much in their treatment. They have so much courage, so much resilience, so much positivity. They have this amazing ability to see the best in things that as adults I think sometimes we lose track of. And their ability to change and adapt is absolutely phenomenal. You know, what was yesterday is not the same today, and they pick up the best of it and move on. So seeing Clemmy go through that has been quite inspiring. And I probably notice it more in other patients as a result. I think it's changed me as a clinician. I think I thought I knew quite a lot about some of these things and that I was quite empathic, but it definitely changes your approach. And yeah, that's certainly driven me to get on the bike during the winter when it's -2 outside and you think this might be quite a hard session. I just, forget it, just get on with it and do it.
And being a busy clinician as you are, and I guess the question could be asked to any of you really, but how do you balance your work life, your home life, and training for an event like this? Do you ever have any time to yourself, or is your time on the bike actually your time?
The time on the bike is definitely my time. Yes, it's a real challenge. That was my biggest question really about whether I could do this, was how on earth this was going to fit in to everything else, and not just the training but the fundraising as well. So I've got 3 children. They're young, they're 5, 7 and 9, and they've got all these things that they want to do as well, and I need to prioritise them. And my husband's also training for something mega this summer, a running event.
Feel free to shout it out.
So he's running the Bob Graham, which is an endurance event in the Lake District. Also quite a phenomenal challenge. So we really do have to tag team his running, my cycling, kids' activities, fundraising, and work in that as well. But yeah, it's working out. It's just you have to be very disciplined with time. I often am in the garage or through the winter very early in the morning, or I don't like this as much, but late at night, just to fit it all in. But it's so far so good, and I think the training through the winter has paid off, which is nice to realise being out here.
So you feel in a good place where we are now?
Oh yeah, I mean this is lovely. It's sunny and warm, and we're cycling in shorts.
Yeah. Laura, did you want to come in there?
I did just want to shout out to family and anybody that is close to you. They need to support you, because you wouldn't be able to do this without it. And my boyfriend's been fantastic. I spoke to him before I signed up and said, "Are you okay if I do this?" Knowing that it's going to impact on him, because there is a lot of training. There's a lot of time you need to take out of your normal life outside of work when you've got a really demanding job. So yeah, thank you.
Big shout out to everyone there that supports the riders and helps them get through
definitely.
it. Talking of get through it, we need to get to the bottom of something, Anna. How far are you actually riding? Because I've heard it's 2 stages. Then I'm hearing you might do more. I mean, where are we with this?
Well, it's a good question. So I signed up for something called a taste of the route, which is the first 2 days. I did that because, as I mentioned, I was off the bike for most of last year and I really needed a goal, but I thought I should probably choose something vaguely sensible, and 2 days seemed quite sensible. But then, I've had the best time the last couple of days riding with these girls, and I love being on my bike, and I'm not the fastest, but I can usually keep going. So all of a sudden I'm sort of thinking, actually, could I do 9 days? Maybe I should do 9 days.
Yes, you can.
I feel like there's serious peer pressure here, isn't
There is a
there?
bit of pressure, yeah.
So I can't get you to commit to it right now, I guess. But
Watch this space.
it's on the record now that you're considering it.
Ask her tomorrow.
We'll do that again. We'll see if we can throw in an edit on the podcast at some point tomorrow. But you've got a connection with Velo Viewer,
Yes.
certainly, and
Yes.
that is bringing something really immense to this event. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, so I'm director of Velo Viewer. Velo Viewer is a set of software tools that all of the professional World Tour women's and men's teams use. They use it to prepare for their race season and prepare for each stage of all the grand tours and all the other sort of World Tour Series races. So it's been really, really lovely to develop a bit of an alliance between Velo Viewer and Cure Leukemia so that we can really support the riders and the ride captains and the team with the same tools that the professional riders get.
Well, I can only thank you on behalf of Q Leukemia for what you're doing for us. And it just adds that professional element to it, because that's the whole idea of this experience, isn't it? That you feel like the pros. You are the pros that one day before. Thinking ahead to the ride itself then, how are you handling any sort of doubts that you may have? I know we've spoken about drawing on personal stories. How do you cope with self-doubt?
Yeah, well, I think we're all experiencing episodes of self-doubt, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to just mention Catherine, who's a haematologist in Sheffield and works with Zoe. She'll also be joining us on the tour, so that's Catherine Patrick. So Catherine very kindly showed us around some of the wards, and we met some of the families and patients who are currently having treatment just last week. And Catherine said something really profound about, it's such a privilege to be able to suffer on the bike, but then choose to stop at any point. And that really stayed with me. And I've thought about that over the last couple of days as well. Suffering on the bike's nothing like experiencing leukemia. And it's just such a privilege to be able to be on the bike, but then to choose to stop that at any point as well. So, that's really helped me when I've felt doubtful about, what I can achieve.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I've got a really good coach at the moment, and so she keeps telling me, if any doubts, let me know, send me a message, and then we talk through them and see if we can, if it's possible, problem solve them, or perhaps it'll be a case of just understanding where that doubt comes from and how you can reframe it. So that's really helpful.
That's fascinating, and I guess that leads me nicely on to what's the biggest lesson that you've learned, say, just during this training camp week? And that might be a lesson about cycling and your technique, or it might be something about yourself.
Charging batteries.
Get the batteries charged up, okay, yeah.
I think, just riding as a group of girls as well has been brilliant. It's been really good. I do a lot of my training by myself, or in very different environments, and you do have these ups and downs of thinking, can I actually do this? And just having a bit of confidence, cycling with other females, because cycling is still such a male-dominated sport, and I think we give each other quite a lot of confidence, and you can tell each other, you can absolutely do this, and that's enough often to just get you through that bit that you're finding a bit difficult.
So let's talk about that. What would you say to women watching this podcast who are reluctant to take on big events, or even just to get out cycling in general? Because you're clearly doing it, and you're doing it to an amazing level. So what would you say to them?
I think to get out cycling in general, I do get the fear. I think it's the traffic. Like, I've got non-cycling friends who cannot believe that I cycle on the road. I can't decide if that's because when they're in the car, they're like, bloody cyclist in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of my friends and family are quite horrified that I'm out there cycling on my own on the roads, on the country lanes, going out in the dark, in the rain, dodging the potholes. But I just, if you have to just start somewhere. Like my day one cycling was not on the fancy road bike with the clipping shoes, head to toe in lycra. I never thought I'd be that cyclist at all. I never thought I'd be going into a bike shop drooling over wheels instead of shoes and handbags.
What changed, Claire?
I really don't know. I think I maybe fell and bumped my head. Actually, I did actually fall and bump my head the other week.
Not off a bicycle?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
We want positive stories here.
I've actually still got the wounds. They're just healing nicely.
Yeah, let's keep it positive. Let's motivate people.
Sorry. I mean, my words would be, if someone's sat listening to this podcast and thinking, do you know what, I really fancy doing it, I'd just say sign up, commit to it, and then sort of worry about the how after, because there's plenty of support out there. Like I've watched a few YouTubes from last year, Pello Hun. There's quite a few cycling influencers who, you know, are out there with tips, and you know, no wonder like lots of women forget that when you're wearing the bib shorts, you know, you don't wear your knickers and things like that. I mean, it took a guy to tell me. It was quite embarrassing.
Really?
It's like, you know, you don't wear underwear with these. I was like, oh, really?
I had the same.
So we've all been there.
See, I'm learning as we sit here talking now.
But yeah, if you know, for any ladies wanting to get into cycling, just buy a bike, buy any bike, start cycling in your trainers, always wear a helmet, definitely. But yeah, just start.
I was going to say, just like find a friend, find a female friend, because it's just everything's so much more fun riding with somebody else, and it's less scary, and you've got a bit of backup. And I think, you know, you won't be the only person that's sort of thinking about it and hasn't got the bottle to do it. So, just ask around, or even ask in a bike shop. That's how I met a couple of cycling friends, just through a local bike shop in Sheffield. Just hook up with a few other people, and then it's just a bit more energy about it, and it all feels better.
And it's just about being outside and, you know, exploring your local area, wherever that might be. That's what I love about cycling. It's really good for
that's what I wanted
your
to
well-being.
ask. What do you get from it?
Oh, I get a break. I get to think. I don't know what I think about when I'm on the bike. Often, if I'm riding by myself, it's very mindful, especially at ascents. And I mean, we're very lucky. We live just on the edge of the Peak District, so it's absolutely beautiful. And lots of people who live in Sheffield never go out and experience that. So I think I'm lucky every time I get on my bike and go and ride it. I think it is a male-dominated sport, but there's absolutely no reason physically that women can't ride a bike. They just don't do it as often as men. And I've entered quite a few of these sportives, and there's very few women doing it still. But we just need to get more people signed up.
I mean, I don't want to interrupt, but if we look at today while we've been out on the road, Zoe, I think we overtook quite a few blokes.
Well, that is absolutely true.
So us women, we definitely have the legs.
Oh, without a doubt.
And as well, I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed cycling as part of a group, but at home, 90% of the time I'm out cycling on my own. But the benefit is, you know, it does help you get strong because you've no one's wheel to sit on. When you're in that headwind on your own and you're 50k from the house, 80k from the house, and you've got to get back, you know, unless I'm going to be soft and call for a taxi.
You're not going to get in a taxi with your bike, though, surely not.
I mean, it would have to be one hell of a bad day for that to happen. But the mental resilience that you build up by cycling on your own and in treacherous conditions, you know, it really does help. The more difficulties you face in training, the stronger it makes you for the event. And like we've mentioned already, cycling on the bike, it's a choice, it's a hobby, it's for enjoyment for all of us, and it's nothing in comparison to what the children battling cancer are, you know, going through. There's just nothing, no comparison whatsoever.
It's an amazing sentiment, and I love how you repeatedly make it, because you keep bringing us back to really the core of why you are doing this. Do you accept that you probably are role models when it comes to women cycling?
I'm not sure we're very good role models.
Definitely are. I don't think I've really thought about that before.
You definitely are,
but I think we are, yeah. And and it is hard for women to get into cycling. I've done women events, like female events before, and it's hard to get people to get past that fear, and there's an intimidation, I think, around all these cycling clubs with men, and that it's all about testosterone and racing, but it really isn't. And if you do, build up the courage to join a club, you genuinely will find some really nice people, and they're really supportive and will give you lots of advice, about not wearing your knickers and your shorts, because I was also told that. But you've got to just embrace being new at something and have a go, and meet some amazing people. This training camp's been absolutely amazing.
Great.
Can I just add as well about cycling clubs, and I think more and more women are joining them. So if women are listening and are thinking of riding a bike, then don't be intimidated and do give it a go. So the club that I ride with in Sheffield, I think about 3 years ago, they had about 80 male members and 2 female members, and now they've got over 30 women riding regularly. So women's cycling is undergoing this amazing time, and it's amazing. It's fabulous to be part of that. We've still got a long way to go, but the changes have been really, really positive.
And men are really useful to draft behind.
Is that right?
Yeah, especially when your gears are
We do have our uses.
going.
We do. So let's talk a little bit about fundraising, because as we've returned to a few times during this cast, this is about raising money for the vital Atticus network. What kind of creative ways have you chosen to raise some money?
Well, so this is centred around Clemmy, my niece, and she was 7 last summer when she was diagnosed. So I've had quite a lot of family support, people doing things. My brother, a few weeks ago, Clemmy lost all her hair, and he made a pact with her last summer when she was first diagnosed that he would shave his head when she lost her hair so that they could go through it together. So his 6-year-old boy, Kit, got the clippers out, and he did that. So that's been that was a good fundraiser. I've had some brilliant support from colleagues at work. We've got a theatres Easter bake-off when we get back next week, and everyone's getting excited about that. Just before Christmas, some of my lovely colleagues gave up their evenings with their sewing machines, and they made little Christmas gift bags, fabric gift bags, and we sold them outside schools to friends, and that made almost £1,000.
Wow.
So that was really good. We're going to do a sponsored hill climb with people in fancy dress, just in one of the hills in Sheffield.
What's the fancy dress theme?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
A theme might be good.
I think we might need a theme.
Yeah.
Maybe animals or something like fun and vibrant.
Yeah.
Or put everybody in Lycra.
I want to get some kids involved. They love that kind of thing. So there's a lovely viewpoint really close to my house. So I think that'll be a good sort of community engagement initiative. And then one of the Paralympic female cyclists, Millie Cass, is going to come and do a talk at the Live store in Sheffield, and again involve lots of women cyclists, getting women into cycling. Live is a female brand, so that'll be another event.
Amazing.
Yeah, lots of little things ticking over just to keep things going.
But you're doing really well with that.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah.
Good. And Claire, how about you?
I did an indoor cycling challenge at the gym. Sat on the bike for 9 hours, representing like 1 hour per stage.
Yeah.
I would like to add that I also didn't go for a wee during this time. 9 hours. It was very painful.
That was worth
towards the
donating
end.
for.
Yeah, so I raised about £800 there. And then I do Reformer Pilates. So I've done the classes back to back 2 Saturday mornings, raised some funds that way. I have a football from Stockport County that's been signed by the players that I'm going to raffle off through somebody else's podcast. Yeah. A guy that's really into cycling, fundraising and football, but only Stockport County football. because I did say I might be able to get a Man City shirt, and he was like, "We don't talk about City around here."
Oh,
And I was
right,
like,
okay.
I don't know anything about football, so I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm also going to do like a coffee morning and cycle laps in Richmond Park down in London, where my bike's from, Forge 1860. And that's it for now. I need a few more ideas.
You say you need a few more ideas, but this is
I do,
really
though.
impressive. What I'm learning sitting here listening to you is that you're all doing different things, and it's not necessarily about huge corporate sponsors. While that's wonderful news, we've had bake-offs and reformer Pilates classes. Isn't that the one where you look like you're trying to escape a mousetrap? That's
Feet in straps and things like that.
is that what it is?
I think people have been amazingly generous as well. I've been absolutely like blown away by people's generosity when they hear what it's for and what it's about and what we're doing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. People have been really generous.
I even managed to get a donation at the airport en route.
How did you manage that?
I was stood in the queue at San Carlo, and I was earwigging to some people's conversation. And I ended up telling them that, I was going to Calpe cycling, raising money for cure leukemia, because I like to get that in there.
Yeah, good.
And then the guy was like, "Oh, my grandma's got leukemia." So I was like, "Oh, do you want to donate?" And I got the QR code out. And
Oh my
then
God.
his friend felt obliged to donate
we
a
love
little
you.
bit as well.
We love you for doing that and love them for donating. If you are watching the podcast, thank you so much for donating to this random lady at the airport. Ladies, it's been a fascinating time talking to you today. I am inspired myself by what you are doing. It's okay for me to say that you are pioneers, you are ambassadors. I can say that. I know you wouldn't say it yourselves. But thank you so much for talking to us. I know that you've still got a few days left of the training camp here, and I hope that is excellent. But moreover, I hope that riding the route is something that will stick with you forever and ever. Everybody, you have been watching the Patience podcast with me, Adam Joyce, but more importantly, these four amazing ladies who will be riding the route one day ahead of the professionals this summer. If you would like to sponsor them or support in any way, just head down to the link below this video and you will find details there of how you can show your support. Thanks everyone for watching, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.